Time for my May TBR. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books, and today I have got my May TBR for you. So I've got 4 physical books here, and I've got 2 that I do not have. One comes out later in the month, one I can't get yet until I finish another book. But yes, we will link the books down below if you're intrigued with any of them as I speak of them. And also down below is going to be the Bookstagram and Danielle's channel and all the other fun stuff, Goodreads, yada yada yada. And yeah, very fun stuff. I'm going to use my phone for one of them, and we'll go from there. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the books. Alright, the first book I'm going to talk about is one that I do not have because it comes out later this month, and it is Never Flinch by Stephen King. So, as you guys know, if you've been around on my channel for a while, I'm an avid Stephen King reader, and I have read every fictional work that he has made, novel-wise or short story collection-wise. I've read all of it, and anytime he's got a new book coming out, I obviously have to read it, because duh. And Never Flinch is going to be, I think, Holly Gibney number 4 or 5, I think it is. But yes, this is what it says. For master storyteller Stephen King comes an extraordinary new novel with intertwining storylines. One about a killer on a diabolical revenge mission, and another about a vigilante targeting a feminist celebrity speaker. Featuring the beloved Holly Gibney and a dynamic new cast of characters. So, the Holly Gibney series has been pretty hit or miss for a lot of people. It's been... when this book was announced, a lot of people, I feel like, weren't super excited about it because he's written about Holly a couple of times in his last couple of novels. I'm kind of indifferent right now. At first, I really wasn't the hugest fan of Holly, but then I kind of started getting more like, okay, you know, she's a good character. I like her. The Holly book itself, I went into it a bit optimistic with it being good, and it was alright. I think I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't like terrible, but it was definitely better than the previous stuff she had been in, besides the Bill Hodges trilogy. But yeah, I'm very excited for this one, obviously because it's Stephen King, but after this book, he announced that he's doing Talisman 3, so I don't know when that one's coming out, but as of right now, we've got 1 book coming out this upcoming month, and I'm very excited for it. It's Stephen King. So there you have Never Flinch by Stephen King. Alright, next up is the other book I do not physically have, but I'm going to be getting it soon. Danielle made a deal with me. If I finished the book I'm currently about to start, The Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, which is Hunger Games Book 5. Technically, I think in the chronological order it's .5, whatever. I got to finish The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes first, and that's the book I'm going to be starting here soon. I got to get it finished by the end of the month, so that way I can spend May reading these books. So, but yeah, this book... I mean, the Hunger Games series has been, it's a really big favorite of mine. I remember when I was in, I think, middle school when it came out, maybe. And it was one of the big books back then, that, and I think Twilight were like the 2 big ones. If you didn't read those in middle school, like at my school, it was like, what are you reading? And I didn't read, so. But yeah, so very excited to get into Sunrise on the Reaping. As far as I remember, with what I had read about it, this is the 50th Hunger Games, and this is the story of Hamish Abernathy, I don't know how you say his last name, I think it's Abernathy, who was one of the mentors for Katniss in the Hunger Games series. So very exciting to see his side of everything. Again, I think it was the 50th games, and this year they're sending twice as many people. And so there's going to be 4 people from each district, I think is what they're called. It's been a while since I've been in the Hunger Games series, so if I'm saying things wrong, bear with me with that. It's been a couple of years since I read Mockingjay. But yeah, very exciting stuff. But again, before I get there, I got to read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the book about snow, which is one of the guys in the other book. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, Sunrise on the Reaping, which is a really cool cover too, and I really want it, so I got to finish this other book so I can get it. But yeah, there you have Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Alright, next up is one book that I think I've put on TBRs in the past and I just never got to it. It's one that I really want to get to, obviously, and that is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. So this obviously is what made the movie American Psycho a thing, which is got, what's his name? Christian Bale in it, I think is the guy who plays Patrick Bateman. But in this book, we've got Patrick Bateman is handsome, well-educated, intelligent. He works by day on Wall Street, earning a fortune to complement the one he was born with. His nights he spends in ways we cannot begin to fathom. He is 26 years old and living his own American dream. If I remember correctly, this has got a big, there's lots of twists in this book. It's a big mind F as far as I remember the twist being. And the movie is really gory, there's gory parts in it, but it's also like a psychological, thriller type book. I'm very excited to get to this because I really do want to knock this out and read it because it's just something that a lot of people really like, and I want to get to it because it, like I said, it just sounds intriguing, and I want to be part of that group that has read this book. So that's all I really have. It's just this dude on Wall Street, and he's deranged. He's got these he's got issues. I'll put it that way. So yeah, there you have American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. All right, next up is going to be The Maid's Secret by Nita Prose. So this one I need to kind of keep it, I don't want to say brief, but short, because this is technically book 3 in the Molly Maid series. Or I think it's just called The Maid. A Maid novel. But this is book 3. There technically was a 2.5. It was a Christmas one. But there's The Maid, which I gave which I gave 5 stars. It was really good. Then The Mystery Guest, which was another one that was really good, but I think I ended up giving it only 4 or 4.5. It wasn't quite as good as The Maid. But this one is book 3. I have absolutely loved Molly as a character, and this whole series so far has been great. I think it was called A Christmas Guest or A Christmas List or something like that, was book 2.5. It was just a little short story. But this one, all the blurb says is a wedding, a heist, a secret. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that just because this is a book that I trust going into it because I've loved the first 2 books. So I'm very excited for this one. And like I said, I just love this series. Oh, The Mistletoe Mystery, that's what it was called. But yeah, that was just a little novella. So I already read that one. But I also gave that, I think, 3.5 or 4 stars. But regardless, The Maid Secret, I'm very jazzed for this one because, like I said, the series has been fun. So there you have The Maid Secret by Nita Prose. Alright, the next one that I have up here is one that I had found at Barnes & Noble. We ended up getting it from the library. I am very intrigued with this because it sounds like it could technically be a sequel to this book, but I don't know if it technically actually is. But that's The Gatsby Gambit by Claire Anderson Wheeler. So if you've read this book, let me know your thoughts down below. Keep it spoiler free because this is the one out of the ones I'm looking at here and that I'm a little bit more intrigued with just because it's a not so common area for me to be in. And I remember reading The Great Gatsby in high school. I read The Great Gatsby, I think on this YouTube channel. I read The Great Gatsby with Danielle. So I've read it a couple of times and I love the story. And so this kind of sounds like it could be a sequel. America's most beloved literary characters, a page-turning mystery, the gilded opulence of the Roaring Twenties, and a clever young woman of unusual persistence. Get ready to rethink the world of Gatsby. I think her name is Greta Gatsby, the younger sister to Jay, who is the main person, one of the main people in the first book. And then it also mentions Daisy and Tom Buchanan are back in this, Nick Carraway, Jordan Baker. I actually don't remember Jordan Baker. But I remember Nick Carraway and the Buchanan family because Tom was a douche and yeah, all that fun stuff. But they all end up being in this summer house together at Gatsby's mansion. And this is a little bit, I don't know what the time frame is after how long Jay's been, well, if you've read The Great Gatsby, you know what happens to Jay Gatsby. But I don't know how long after this takes place from when the end of The Great Gatsby happened. But it sounds like it's relatively soon after. But again, if you've read this book, let me know your thoughts down below, because like I said, this is the one I'm most intrigued with, just because, like I said, it's not really something that I'm more frequently flocking towards to read. I'm usually more like horror, Stephen King, suspense, all that kind of stuff. This is a mystery, but I'm very intrigued with this one. So yeah, there you have The Gatsby Gambit by Claire Anderson Wheeler. Alright, and the last book I'm going to talk about, which I got to kind of speed through this because I got work coming up here soon, The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. So I've read from this author before. I've read Night of the Mannequins, My Heart is a Chainsaw. I read the first book of that series. I got to read the other two of those. Honestly, I could swap out the second one of that with this one. I don't know. And The Only Good Indians. The Only Good Indians was pretty mid for me, but whatever. I'm going into this one blind just because, like I said, I've read Stephen Graham Jones before, just like with Nita Prose. He's an author that I trust enough to go into a book and know whether or not I'm going to like it or not. And I haven't heard much about this book, but I know a lot of people really love The Only Good Indians, and I was one of the few who did not. So I'm intrigued to see what people are saying about this book. I also like the edges and the front of the book. It looks really cool. But yeah, other than that, like I said, I'm going to go into this more or less blind just because, like I said, I trust Stephen Graham Jones and just want to go into it blind. But yeah, there you have my, May TBR. We're already in May, my goodness. But yeah, very exciting stuff. Again, we'll have those books linked down below. And yeah, again, later in the month when the Stephen King book comes out, Never Flinch, what I usually always do is I'll do, not like a rant review, but I'll do a video about that book when that comes out. So stay tuned for that towards the end of the month. And yeah, very exciting stuff. What are some things you have planned to read in May? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts down below. Keep them spoiler free, please, of course. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.